everybody's feeling well. Good afternoon. It's about 12 a.m. by my clock. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling real good today. But we have a lot to get to. We got a lot to get to. So this is going to be the first of, I don't know how many videos we're going to do today. But let's just get right into it. I got something to show y'all. And you want to see, this is going to be another entry into the fuck around and find out series that we do here on this channel. If you're new here, welcome to all the new subscribers. But we have today another case of what happens when you think that you are smarter than the law. I don't even know, Jesus Christ, I don't even know what in the world would make, never mind, let's just get into it.
Nisha Atmore at work, using a cooler to scoop up designer sunglasses, which she has no plans to pay for.
She committed one of the most brazen thefts that I've ever heard of. She went into the sunglass hut at International Plaza, and she had a soft-sided cooler, and she just scooped her arm and put about $20,000 worth of sunglasses into that cooler. And when the employee said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I have a taser." Well, a taser, as you know, is a weapon.
She was busted, and in her car they found some of the stolen goods, which was collected in evidence bags.
Nisha Atmore.
Atmore has been in and out of prison for a string of theft convictions, but as a repeat offender, she is now facing stiffer penalties and decades in prison. Prosecutors offered her a 3-year deal. She rejected it. Instead, a jury convicted her, and she was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
That's because the state of Florida has taken a very tough stance on retail theft.
But before she was sent away, she had 2 more theft cases to settle, including this one.
The defendant entered the Zales at the Brandon Town Center Mall, tried on a ring that it had a value of $8,749.99, placed the ring on her left finger, and proceeded towards the exit.
And while
Are those tattoos on her chest? Or is that a burn mark? Are those not tattoos, right?
while they tacked on more years behind bars, Atmore couldn't resist smiling for the camera. Her next stop, prison. She won't be free again until she's 60 years old.
Oh, this woman is insane. Oh yeah, she was insane. Yeah, she's insane. I think she was just, there's no way you can't convince me that she wasn't trying to get taken care of by the system. She probably was just out of rope at the end of her line, and she was probably like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to just throw it all away. They said that this woman here just brazenly walked into a store, started taking stuff off of the shelf, throwing it into a bag. And when employees threatened her, said that, or when employees confronted her, rather, she threatened them and said that she had a taser. Ma'am, you want to pick up multiple felonies at once? I don't understand. All right, let's read it. Neighbors. A 29-year-old Florida woman will unfortunately be spending the next 30 years of her life behind bars after she was sentenced for shoplifting $20,000 worth of items. Mind you, in this, they said that they gave her an opportunity to take a plea deal, and she turned it down to get the 30 years. Amazing. According to Fox 13, Nisha Atmore was caught stealing designer sunglasses from a Sunglass Hut store in Tampa, Florida. Nisha reportedly pulled up to the store with a cooler bag and began to put the shades inside. When a worker approached her, she threatened them with a taser. She was eventually found a few days later with all of the contraband in her car. She was arrested and charged with theft. Because Nisha already had an extensive history of shoplifting, this last time was the final straw. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison for her crimes. The crazy part is the prosecutors reportedly offered her a plea deal for 3 years. Wow. But she declined and decided to put her fate in the jury's hands, which obviously did not work out well at all. Arnisha also had 2 other theft cases pending during the trial for this one. The judge decided to add 6 more months to her 30-year sentence because, hey, what the hell? What's 6 more months, you know? What's 6 more months on a 30-year? It's nothing. You can do that, which means she won't get out of jail until she's 60 years old over a pair of sunglasses. You got people in the comments saying 30 years is absurd. They're playing in our faces. Ma'am, please shut the hell up. This got 1,500 likes. Did y'all not hear that she was a repeat offender? A repeat offender, meaning this isn't her first time. This reminds me of the people that do terrible things, go to prison, go to jail for it, and then get out, and then just go and recommit the same crimes over and over again down the line. How many chances do y'all think that a person should get before we have to do something about them? Before something has to be done about them? Y'all do know that that's how civilization is able to run the way it does, right? Is that eventually somebody got to grab them up by the head, by the nape of the neck, and throw them somewhere where they won't see sunlight no more. Y'all realize that that's how it works? You got people feeling sorry for this chick talking about 30 years is absurd. No, it's not absurd when you've done this multiple times. When you're on multiple offenses, when you've stolen out of multiple stores. Florida, as we all know, has been being hit with a rash of robberies as a result of the economy being in a terrible position, in a terrible state. Need I remind you of the videos that we saw of people running in stores, groups of young people running in stores and snatching shit off the shelves and running out? Well, did you think that they were going to continue to allow that without harsh penalties? Absolutely not. Some order has to be maintained. Somebody says, this is not right. I don't give a damn. This is wrong. A woman. What's wrong is you going into a store stealing shit. Listen, I don't understand. Somebody help me understand the pacification of criminals and people who go and just steal shit. She didn't have to do it. They said she had a car because that's where they found her at with all the stuff. So why didn't you just take your ass somewhere and get an application? It's about she feels sorry for her. Should not be punished for exercising her right to go to trial. That's why innocent people plead to stuff. It's to deter folks from going to trial. Wow. This is egregious. For a nonviolent crime, you got to be kidding me. Let me guess. Y'all think she's a victim as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Repeat offender. Repeat offender. Let's move on to the next case because this is absolutely ridiculous. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on.
Schools released an edited video showing an attempted kidnapping at an elementary school in Aurora. Parents get a briefing on this incident today. Now, the suspect, Solomon Galligan, has a long criminal history, but also a long history of mental health problems.
This man looks absolutely insane. This man looks absolutely insane.
His family also believes that the system has failed in this case. And that is where we begin our team coverage for you tonight. Tori Mason, your reporter in Aurora, and Tori, parents have been pushing the district for answers.
Answers and accountability. This has parents all over shaken up. It's just a reminder that these things can happen. Now, how this happened and who's going to be held responsible are what parents want to know now.
Surveillance cameras caught the terrifying moment, an attempted kidnapping at school. Solomon Galligan is seen approaching students and lunging at a child before falling down. Parents have now seen what their kids experienced.
It was hard. It was really hard.
Dante White's child was there.
We hope that children embellish a little bit, but the footage there showed.
He watched the video with other families directly impacted at a meeting with the superintendent and district officials.
They did admit fault, they did apologize, and now next steps are to schedule a second.
Apologize? Where the hell was the supervision at? I don't understand. Where the hell was the supervision at? Why was nobody out there? Listen, man. The days of of kids going outside for recess and not having somebody out there watching them, that is done. That's over with. That's over with. When I was in school, it was cool. We could all go outside, 100 kids outside during recess playing, and it was largely no problems. You might have a fight or two, right? But otherwise, other than that, it was really no problems. At least not in the hood, right? But in this day and age, that era is over with. We done with that. I don't understand where the supervision was, why this dude was allowed to just waltz up and grab a kid, and nobody ran out there to stop him. You know how fast I would snatch my kid out of that school? They got lawsuits pending, I'm sure. Lawsuits are on the way.
Secondary meeting, right? Because we prescribed a couple of items that we wanted done.
Among the requests are safety training, more fencing, and new surveillance equipment. They're calling for an independent investigation.
We want people put on administrative leave. We want people fired.
The district says they're committed to keeping students safe.
We're looking at exactly what happened, what transpired afterwards as well.
The district says improvements are being made. Staff has reviewed all safety protocols and additional supports were added.
And we also changed the supervision areas that teacher assistants had on recess to make sure that all students were visible.
White says school leaders must be held accountable.
Adults that are supposed to be trained professionals, and they weren't. They categorically failed across the board.
Now, the principal, as well as other district officials, are going to continue to meet with these families impacted just to answer any questions that they have. The parents that were here today told me that another meeting is planned for more discussion about some of those requests that were made. We're live in Greenwood Village. Tori Mason covering Colorado First.
All right, Tori, thank you.
All right, I want to read this article because there's more to this that meets the eye, right? It says, new disturbing video is released of kids screaming and run away in fear from what appears to be a transgender sex offender trying to kidnap one of them from their elementary school in Colorado. Colorado has a storied history, boy, I tell you. Colorado has a storied history. But I want you to catch that. A transgender sex offender trying to kidnap one of them. And this person looks absolutely insane. I don't know if they're transitioning from a woman to a man or a man to a woman. It really doesn't matter. The fact that cannot be overlooked is the transgender part in this and the mental health. I'm tired of everybody throwing everything on mental health issues. I know that we're in a day and age where everybody thinks that everybody should have access to, seek help, and they should get help first and not be prosecuted too harmful because they didn't receive the mental help that they only in today's day and age have we reached an era full of bitch assness all around in humanity where we just throw every problem that we have on mental health issues. Everything is a mental health issue. That's become the new scapegoat. Mentally weak humans is what we're raising in this era. Mentally weak. Can't handle shit. Got every excuse in the world. Says according to CBS Colorado, the security tape that led to the arrest of Solomon Galligan was first revealed Monday to families of the students engaged in the terrifying incident at Black Forest Hills Elementary School in Aurora. The video shows a man clutching a blanket, wandering beside a fence while more than a dozen young students play outside during recess. Again, where the hell was the supervision? These kids are young as ever. According to disclosed records, the children flee as the accused abductor approaches them saying, "Stranger danger." That is creepy as hell. That is creepy as hell. That is creepy as, wow. One of the nearly kidnapped boys informed police that the trans man we're going to get to that in a second. That the trans man, who reportedly first transitioned in 2011, smelled strongly of alcohol and had white powder plastered on his face at the time of the incident. Galligan was taken into custody at a local Walgreens and accused of one count of kidnapping the attempt. Galligan is being held on a $25,000 bail at the Aurora jail. He is set to face court on Thursday. Let me ask y'all something. I want y'all to level with me just for a second. Do we not attribute all of the shit that we have allowed to take place in our society as a big part of why we have incidences and cases like this? All of this coddling by our government, by our people, by our legislators, all of this, Me Too movement bullshit, all of this, let a person be what they want. I didn't feel like, I was born a boy, but I feel like a girl. Do we not feel like any of that has played a hefty part on some of this mental illness bullshit that we keep running to in media and as the source of the problem? How far are we going to go as a people, as a collective of humans that all have to cohabitate here in America? How far are we going to go to allow excuses like this to be led by mental illness, transgender propaganda, and a clear plan to turn everybody that's straight into something else? This reminds me of the Don't Say Gay bill, honestly. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Don't Say Gay bill? Well, turns out that the bill wasn't even really about gayness at all. It was just called the Don't Say Gay bill. It was in Florida as well. And it was called the Don't Say Gay bill because people were upset because the school was telling mothers and teachers and fathers and families that they were not going to teach their children about homophobia and sexuality at ages 6 and 7 years old. And people were up in arms. They even organized school walkouts and protests everywhere. That's not insane to y'all? Could you imagine being called on the phone, or you picking your kid up from school, they get in the car, you tell them, you ask them, "Hey, how was your day?" And they tell you, "Mom, today was weird. We had a walkout today, a protest, because of the Don't Say Gay bill." The what bill? How far we gotta go with this? How far we gotta go with this? Man. Somebody said transition into what? The people under the stairs? OFC, the trans label is there only to bring hate to the trans community. Here we go with this shit, boy. Oh my God, bro. I got news for y'all. Nobody hates y'all. Nobody hates y'all at all. We just don't give a shit. We just don't want to hear it. If that's what you want to do, you want to transition into something else, cool. Why do you need to shout it from the mountaintop? We don't. The straight people don't go around every day and walk outside the door and say, "Yeah, I'm straight. I'm straight." That's the problem. That's the difference here. We got a problem, America. See y'all in the next video.